This is a quick guide to 7th position. If you've been watching my position videos earlier, you're probably already familiar with some of the things I'm about to say. So the first thing we want to practice is getting the thumb underneath here. And we're going to talk also about, well, of course, as you put your thumb underneath, you want to make sure your elbow is free, that your pinky can reach all the strings. Okay, that's the first thing. And I'm gonna, of course, just like in my other videos on positions 2 through 6, I'm gonna talk about a couple of reference points that you can have right away. Every position has some kind of reference points based on previous knowledge, okay? So it's good to learn positions in a certain order. It's not fixed, of course. We always usually learn first and third position, followed by either second or even jumping right away to 5th position, because once you know 3rd position, 5th position becomes accessible. Now we're gonna see how this one is similar to 3rd position actually. 3rd position at this point should feel more like home. So the fingering pattern is the same actually as 3rd position. So for example, on the E string, 1st finger falls on A in 3rd position. In 7th position, it's the same thing. First finger is A. Of course, it feels very, very different because everything gets very crowded. This is where it really starts to feel crowded. I think 7th position and up. Of course, at this point, the base of the 1st finger is no longer in contact with the base here, the neck here, as it is in positions 1 through 4. About 4th position, it's a little ambiguous. I talked about it in my 4th position video. But the other reference point, so the first one is that 3rd position finger numbers do match here within the standard frame. The other one is the natural harmonic, which I mentioned in positions 4. In 4th position, the natural harmonic here, it fit the 4th finger, except we would put it down round. And then in 5th position, the 3rd finger would go there, and in 6th position 2nd. And guess what? In 7th position, the 1st finger falls on that natural harmonic, if we're doing all naturals, of course. But the 4th finger can get a little bit tricky because it gets quite crowded up there. So sometimes when practicing the intervals, which we're going to do in a moment here, just like we did in 6th position, for some folks, and for me too, if I want to put down my pinky here and actually stay in tune, in reality, my 3rd finger kind of needs to move out of the way, okay? Because it creates a half step in these note patterns. Well, in this case, I'm doing C sharp, right? So if I'm going A, B, C sharp, which would be a half step with 4, you see how the 3 has to kind of get out of the way. Otherwise, it's too sharp, even if they're touching. So because that's how close the half steps become up here. So for this reason, playing in very high positions, fingered octaves become very useful up here for many folks, including myself. Getting the perfect 4th as 1-3, extended 3. But for the sake of learning the position, I would recommend learning them first, learning the perfect 4th as 1-4. So we're going to go up the intervals half step at a time. The Leopold Auer book, the 6th book in his editions, it has positions 4 through 7, and it kind of does a modified version of what I'm about to do, where it goes up and down the intervals. I recommend going through all the intervals, so minor 2nd, major 2nd, and so on. Minor 3rd, major 3rd, and here you can keep going to a tritone. Perfect 5th. Of course, that's an extension technically. It doesn't feel as much of an extension up here in this part of the fingerboard, but we want to understand this, okay? And at this point, I would bring my 1st finger to the lower string. There's that harmonic. and play this octave and fill it in to get the footing down, really feel this frame. Okay, so from here, we'll do some perfect fourths. So we'll do A and second finger on the D string, and then follow the pattern. So that really kind of gets your footing down and getting these intervals in tune when you have to play passages within a position, okay? Of course, most of the time in the repertoire for 7th position, a lot of times you're either going to be playing a melody up on the G string or up on the E string. That's what I would recommend actually for this one. I would actually spend on the outer strings more. So let's go up here, do the interval training up here. So I'm going up to a 5th, that way we go all the way up to a D. And actually how to get up there besides the harmonic, one way you can do it is use your knowledge of the lower positions to get up there with 2 fingers. So since this is an odd number position, you can go 1st position, then to 3rd, then to 5th, and then to 7th. So on the G string you would go 1, 1, and then 1. That's how you can find it up here. And then on the, of course, on the E string, you can do, since you probably can find 3rd position right away at this point, right? And also remember, when you go up, the elbow kind of has to lead a little bit, okay? So if the elbow gets a head start, it's much easier to get up to the high positions. Of course, in order for the elbow to lead, as I talked in previous videos, it's really, really important that the shoulder is mobile. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, otherwise it'll be really boring. But if you want to watch me play some application of this in repertoire, join me in my Patreon community where you can see how a lot of this works in real life with music. Otherwise, why in the world are we doing this, right? So I go much deeper into everything that I talk about on my YouTube channel in my community. I'm going to leave the link down in the description below so that you can check it out and see what it's all about. And I would love to see you there and get to know you better. In the meantime, if you found this video helpful, the best thing you can do is to share it with a friend or a colleague that would find it useful, so that YouTube pushes this video out to the correct folks, okay? And of course, if you enjoyed it, leave me a like and let me know your biggest takeaway in the comment section below. Until next time, happy practicing.